here. Today we're talking about PlayStation because Sony is about to make a literal billion-dollar mistake.
Ha
In
ha.
fact,
We still in the month of January. And you're trying to tell me that Sony has started off the new year with Code Violet. Now they got TCL manufacturing their own TVs. Dreamcast guy, I think you need to update us as to what's going on with Sony. You know, because I thought Xbox was dead. But it seems to me that it's PlayStation because, I mean, it seems like there's nothing good going on with this company, but yet you ponies want to keep throwing this underneath the carpet.
probably already have. So obviously, it's been a couple of years
And
now.
now we got this lousy game coming out, Marathon, man. The only saving grace that you guys got is Wolverine, and you better hope that GTA 6 got delayed, because if not, ain't nobody gonna buy that Wolverine game, man. You know, I mean, at this point, PlayStation might as well go full third party, like y'all keep saying about Xbox. Because it seems like Sony can't get it together, man. You know, they no longer want to manufacture their own TVs. They got TCL doing it. Like, what's going on here?
Had the Bungie acquisition, where Sony scooped up Bungie, added them to the PlayStation family for $4 billion. And at the time, that acquisition, in my mind, made perfect sense. I mean,
Of course it did, because we thought that PlayStation would make exclusive Bungie games. We thought we was going to get our own personalized Halo from the Bungie that made those games back on Xbox, but Microsoft saved you by giving you Halo Campaign Evolved instead, which is going to be more sad, because I can probably guarantee that Halo Campaign Evolved on your platform will probably do far better than Marathon, and that is what's quite sad to me. I mean, at this point, it seems like Microsoft's doing this purposely. Like, hey, they got Marathon, let's beat them with an old 25-year-old game, Jimmy, from the original Xbox. Just to show Sony that they can't compete. And you know what? Let's make it even worse for them, G, by not even putting any online multiplayer, and I guarantee the game is still going to do better.
Consider the fact that Bungie at that time was such a classically talented studio. They were making one of the biggest, most popular, most played, hours-wise especially, shooters on the planet. Destiny 2 had multiple giant successful expansions. And if you
What about the games before that? What about the Halo games they worked on? You know, he wanted to erase Xbox history, you know, from Bungie's tongue. You know, he just couldn't have it come out. You know, he didn't want to tell them that Bungie used to work on incredible games on Xbox at one point, exclusively for their console. You know, you want to erase their history and go as far to say, well, it started when Destiny 2, so it only started when PlayStation acquired them. Destiny 2 already came out before PlayStation even bought them, you big dummy.
Destiny 2 had some of the most interesting gunplay.
There we go.
Really creative raid mechanics, really fun powers and
No,
stuff.
I would still say that Destiny 1 was better.
So the idea of, okay, let's take that PlayStation budget, that PlayStation popularity.
What? This ain't no PlayStation game. This game was on all platforms before PlayStation even acquired the studio, and you acting as if Sony invested money and made Bungie. No, they didn't. This game existed before Sony even acquired them. What are you talking about? He making it seem like, oh, you know, Destiny 2 got popular because of PlayStation and the budget that they... No, they didn't. Why are you lying right now?
And add it into Bungie. And what happened? Well, honestly, Bungie is dead. A lot of the main people left, and now instead we're getting Marathon.
Woo!
Today, they released a ton of details about Marathon. Release date, a final trailer. Apparently, there's about to be a beta test, and a collector's edition that is $200 and doesn't even
pony up
include the
and buy
game.
it.
I want to talk about this because I think
Look at that, man. The game is dead on arrival, man. Yo, there's no good news for PlayStation, man. You can say whatever you want to say about Xbox, but at the end of the day, we got the games, man. And that developer direct is coming out no longer than tomorrow. You know, these ponies, they're on their knees. They just begging for it to be terrible. And I'm telling you, if Microsoft hits the ground running with that direct, PlayStation, as far as I'm concerned, for this generation is dead. Because I don't think I would even care to play on it at that point, especially considering that all the best and greatest games are going to be available on Xbox, or should I say it, Game Pass Ultimate.
Marathon is very obviously going to utterly flop. It's about to just be so dead, it might as well be Yamcha face down in a crater.
Woo!
But
might as well be
instead
canceled.
of just thinking of this as a typical project, I want to analyze how I feel like this is very much Sony's hubris. Sony's obsession with making these PlayStation Live service games has led to a gigantic financial flop that hopefully they don't feel the pain of for too terribly long. Learn from your mistakes, but let's
they're going to feel the pain, and they're going to feel more pain than they did with Concord, because this game is coming from an established studio that have created the games of Halo and as well as Destiny. So it is what it is, man. And you got PlayStation out here having TVs manufactured by TCL. I mean, the future for Sony ain't looking real good. I guess PlayStation, I guess Sony TVs is dead then, huh?
Apparently it is very, very fun. But going into this now...
Yeah, I think not.
It feels like such a bad time to release an extraction shooter. Like, at this point...
Man, why would I pay this? Why would I pay for this when you could go buy Arc Raiders, which is a far better option?
Shooters are a very niche genre. Some of them have become incredibly popular, Escape from Tarkov, Arc Raiders and stuff, but I feel like the amount of people that want to play a permadeath online shooter, it's a tiny, tiny group. It's not something...
Yeah, it's so tiny that Arc Raiders is one of the most popular games to play. Matter of fact, even the other game that you mentioned is very popular. It just shows you that Sony can't do it. That's the difference. What are you talking about? Oh, it's a very niche demographic. It ain't any more niche than them Japanese games, though. That ain't nobody buying.
You make a $4 billion acquisition to do, right? I have to admit that it is very funny. This trailer leaked last night through the Xbox store. A little bit funny. Just the idea, also the idea of buying a studio for $4 billion and then making third-party games, making stuff that appears on every...
I mean, what do you... How are you still dumbfounded by this? You thought Sony cared about you? The game on Xbox, you know, the same platform you keep saying is dead, right? Like, I mean, come on, man. You really thought Sony was exclusive?
Platform, a bit odd as well, but...
Oh, it's odd. You hear that? So he's mad. He don't want to see the game on Xbox.
I love it. I love the weird technical weirdness of it.
Imagine being so mad, right, about a game going to Xbox when Helldivers 2, which was probably going to be more popular than this game that you're complaining about, dropped on Xbox. Like, I mean, you could tell these ponies are upset. They got no argument. When that new Xbox PC comes out, man, the console war is over. They know it. That's why they got to cope now.
This mix of, like, cyber glitchiness and blood spray and stuff. This looks utterly... Bungie perfection. So the fact that
of course it does, because PlayStation had involvement in the game.
Taking this and putting it into a live service game that we all know is not even going to be alive 6 months from now. The server count's probably going to be single digits within the year,
single
right?
digits.
I guess it feels so wasted. Like,
you better get that platinum early. Yo, because they tried to do it with Concord. I mean, and they still couldn't get it. The rarest platinum in the world, man. Single-digit lobbies.
Spend so much time on a game that has so little actual stuff to offer. This, to me, just seems like something nobody's going to want. Especially because this is the Collector's Edition. The Collector's Edition is a figurine. It's got these, like, cool 3D skins and stuff like that. $200. No game code, does not include a physical disc or a digital copy of the game. Do you know why? This is Sony's official statement originally. Sony originally said we don't even want to consider
what
a physical copy of the game
does not contain a yo. What? You don't even contain the game? I've never heard of that, bro. Ever. What? No game code does not contain a physical disc or a digital copy of the game, and you're charging $200 for some flower pot figurine and some skeleton lady? Are you kidding me? You're telling me they're not even throwing in the game? Bruh.
Like collector's editions when they were cross-platform. You know, that was
a collector's edition that don't even come with a game.
The God of War Ragnarok super expensive collector's edition. They said, oh, well, some people are going to buy it on PlayStation 4. Some people are going to buy it on PlayStation 5. We don't want to actually, make you have to buy a specific collector's edition for your platform. So a digital code makes sense. This, though, this is several steps.
The reason why they put the digital code so you can't sell it. Because back then, back in my days, with the 360, they used to put the Sega Superstar Tennis, y'all remember? And what people would do, they would take the free game and then they would sell it to GameStop a lot of the times, and then would get credit and then use that money to get something that they actually wanted. A lot of people used to do that with a lot of bundled in games. That's why a lot of them are digital. Look no further than Nintendo. Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. Even Nintendo did it with Mario Kart World. So that just shows you. Because I'm not saying, because if you buy the Switch, some people might say, well, I don't want this game anymore. And then you could sell it. But guess what? The game is locked to the platform. So once you redeem it, that's all it is. You cannot sell it. You can't get any value from the game. Back then, in the good old days, it would have came with a physical copy. And you potentially could have traded it. You could have sold it. They understand. This is why we know we're pushing ourselves through a digital gaming market, because look at how these companies are going about giving you these so-called quote-unquote free games.
Further, this time, they're not even pretending to care about the fan base. They're literally just saying, hey, yeah, you know what, you'll also buy the game. So if you're trying to get the deluxe edition and the collector's edition, you're spending $250 to begin playing the game. To say that's disrespectful, it's such a drastic understanding.
It's
I'm going to refresh this live here, right? The original Marathon games were very interesting, legendary, groundbreaking first-person shooters. It was what they were doing, what Bungie was doing before they made Halo, right?
Trash.
So it's funny to think, not to go all the way, I wish it wasn't an extraction shooter for the 50th time, but Psy. Such a cool world and aesthetic. Of course, I'll be playing it anyways.
Of course, because Paul Tassie's a pony. But guess what? You know, you're going to have all the PlayStation fanboys reminiscing as to why Sony keep making these games. You know, you guys can have a good conversation while y'all playing this game online with each other in the single digits.
Long vacation, or sometimes they like lay off a chunk of the staff with a huge bonus and then start rehiring for the next big project. Whereas when you're making a live service, you keep all 200 people. They don't take vacations. They stay locked in because it's just content.
Let's be honest, man. You know, like I said, man, I mean, this is how Sony starting off the year, though. This is how they doing it. This is how Sony starting off the new year, bro. This is how they doing it. Y'all don't got no games, man. Microsoft gonna come here with their developer direct and just knock Sony out of the park with this. Bro, Sony got to get it together, man. You guys keep claiming the greatness of PlayStation, but yet time and time again, we don't see it. We have failed to see the whole greatness awaits. It seems like greatness is getting worse. Get this game off my box, man. Look at that. So much for that PlayStation exclusive. But at least you guys got Cold Violet, though, right? This game about to get overthrown by Halo Campaign Evolved. Y'all ain't got no games, man. Hey, listen, maybe Microsoft might hook them up and put the game on Game Pass. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, PlayStation ain't got anything.